Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala ibadihi allazina istafa khususan ala afdalihim wa khatamin nabiyyin Muhammadin al-amin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du faqad qala Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala kama warada fi akhir surah Al-Jumu'a. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا قُلْ مَا عِندَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِّنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ربنا ألهمنا رشدنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. آمين يا رب العالمين. These are the last three ayat of Surah Al-Jumu'ah, and the second section of this surah comprises of these three ayat. Apparently it appears that these ayat have no connection, no logical or rational connection with the rest of the surah. But there is a very deep connection, rational, logic connection. First of all, I want to give you that relationship between the main subject of Surah Al-Jumu'ah and this, hikmat and ahkam of Jumu'ah, the wisdom and the commandments about the Jumu'ah prayers. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent, as we have seen in Surah Al-Saf, to make the deen of Allah supreme. For that he was given Qur'an, with which he could change the persons first, individuals first, changing their thinking, changing their morals, changing their attitudes, changing their values, changing their character. So actually with this he could accomplish the mission that was assigned to him of making the deen of Allah supreme. But because he was sent not for the Arabian Peninsula only, not for the Arabs only, but for the whole of humanity, so this mission had to be continued after him also. And after his death, this mission was to be taken over by his ummah to make the deen of Allah supreme over the whole of the globe, whole of the earth. Now for that purpose, to continue the same function that the Prophet was performing in his lifetime, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. A system of adult education was given, that every week Muslims should gather, the day of assembly. They should gather in the best of the circumstances. They should celebrate it as their Eid, as their annual function or weekly function. So, and there some imam, some naib, and imam actually is the naib of Rasul. The member we call member of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This member belongs to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Whosoever stands over it, he is actually doing the same function that the Prophet used to do in his lifetime. This continuous process, yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yuallimuhumul kitaba wal hikmah, that became eternal, so that the revolutionary ideology that should remain fresh in the minds of the Muslims, their aims and objects should remain on their conscious level of their brains and thinking. They should know that they have to live for Allah and die for Allah. And their goal in life is to make the deen of Allah supreme. For this purpose, this is a system of adult education. And for that, every week Muslims are required to gather together, and then they should be reminded, and the renewed, their zeal should be renewed, their ideology should be reminded, so that they have in their minds and they have before them the goal that which they have to accomplish, and that is to make the deen of Allah supreme. So this is actually a very grand system of adult education that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, not only to this ummah, but also to the ummah before. But please, let me give you first of all a background. As we know, this deen is a continuation of the deen from Hazrat Adam till Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The deen has been one. There's no difference of a jot in deen. The difference is in law, in the detailed commandments. Deen has been the same. شَرَعَ لَكُم مِّنَ الدِّينِ مَا وَصَّى بِهِ نُوحًا وَالَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ وَمَا وَصَّيْنَا بِهِ مُوسَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَمُوسَى وَعِيسَى أَنْ أَقِيمُوا الدِّينَ وَلَا تَتَفَرَّقُوا فِيهِ. O Muslims, it has been ordained for you also. What we advised to Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam, and what we have made mandatory on you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and what was our advice and our demand from Ibrahim and Musa and Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, to establish the deen of Allah, an aqimu ad-deen wa la tatafarraqu fi. So this deen has been the same. Although the detailed laws, there have been changes. There has always been a system of prayers, but they have different shapes. A system of fasting. As you know, there have been changes have been made in the fasting of the former Muslim Ummah and this fasting of the present Muslim Ummah. Their fast started just when they slept, the fast started. No sahri, no taking of any meal or anything before dawn. No going to their wives, no intercourse during the night even. It was prohibited. And that is why the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet, also thought that in our Sharia also perhaps these things are not permissible. And then the ayah was revealed that no, your psalm is different in these matters, that you can have sexual intercourse with your wife during the night. The psalm of Muslim Sharia is for the day, from the dawn till the sun setting. And that is the period. And because this deen has been made easy for this ummah in many respects. Why? Because it had to spread very far and wide, to the east, to the west. Different climates, different habitats. And these, had to come into the folds of this ummah. And for that, the rituals in our deen, in this Sharia of Islam, Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the amount of rituals has been decreased. The amount of wisdom has been increased. And that is the compensation. When the wisdom is less, you have to work harder. When you have the wisdom, then a lesser amount of work will also give the required results. So that we see in this respect also. Now the background is that in all the Sharias, it was given that out of the 7 days of every week, 1 day should be reserved for ibadah, for worship, for reading the book, learning the deen. You work for 6 days, but for the 7th day, you keep it reserved, the whole day. It should be reserved for the learning of your deen, for remembering of Allah. You make zikr, you read the book, the scripture, the book that has been given to you. So 6 days for work and 1 day for, not for rest. That was actually some wrong addition which was made in Torah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this world, this universe in 6 days, and on the 7th day He rested. There was no rest required for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why Qur'an says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, as you know, we find in Surah Qaf, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا فِي سِتَّةِ أَيَّامٍ وَمَا مَسَّنَا مِن لُغُوبٍ. Verily we created all the heavens and earth in 6 days, but we didn't get tired. There was no tire. We were not tired by that. We didn't need any rest. It was actually not for rest. The 7th day of the week was for worshipping Allah. Reserve it wholly, solely for remembrance of Allah, for making zikr of Allah, for reading the book of Allah. And then you can discuss the things with you, but nothing earning, no worldly act. This was the day of Jumu'ah. From the beginning it was Jumu'ah, given to every ummah. It was actually a deviation of the Jews that they left Jumu'ah, adopted Sabbath, Saturday. And then the Christians, they went one day further and they fixed it for Sunday. Actually it was Jumu'ah. Let me quote you a hadith. Imam Muslim rahimahullah, he relates from Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala an. He said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خَيْرُ يَوْمٍ طَلَعَتْ عَلَيْهِ الشَّمْسُ يَوْمُ الْجُمْعَةِ. The best day of all the days of the week on which sun shines is the day of Jumu'ah, day of Friday. فِيهِ خُلِقَ آدَمُ. In that day Adam was created. وَفِيهِ أُدْخِلَ الْجَنَّةِ. In that very day he was made to enter Jannah, paradise. وَفِيهِ أُخْرَجَ مِنْهَا. And on Friday he was taken out from there, so that to take the charge of this world, this earth, and to be a caliph of Allah for this world. So actually this day has been a sacred day from the very beginning. That is why in Surah Al-Nahl, in Ayah 124, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ السَّبْتُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ. This, Sabt for the Jews, that was fixed for as a punishment for them, because they themselves selected it. They left Jumu'ah, the glory of Jumu'ah, they deprived themselves of this Jumu'ah, and then when they themselves adopted Saturday, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also fixed that for them, that if you like not the best day, and you want another day, so we fix this day for you. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ السَّبْتُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ. Now as you know, this Sabbath as they call today, this is Yawm al-Sabt in Arabic, and Sabbath as the Jews call it. For them, in their Sharia, total day, they can't do any work, no earning, no bargaining, no tijara, whatsoever. And the practicing Yahud today, even today, they are very strict. They don't even receive calls, telephone calls. Just they put their telephones off. No business whatsoever, nothing of this sort. Those who practice their Sharia, they are very strict in Sabbath. So that was actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fixed that day, and the whole day they had to do only ibadah, only worship, only zikr, only remembrance of Allah, only study of the scripture, only study of the book, and nothing else. But for the Muslim Ummah, now first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reverted. That position was given to Yawm al-Jumu'ah, which was the original. Now because the deen, it has been renewed, and it has been made complete on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the mistake that the Jews committed has been rectified, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us to the real day, which is the most sacred day of the 7 days of the week, and we have been given again and guided towards Jumu'ah. Secondly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it very lenient for us, very lenient, that you can do business, you can go to work if you like. Although I will tell you, the hadith I will quote, that it is desirable that you spend most of the time of Jumu'ah for the same purpose of remembering Allah. Or you should devote this day for teaching and learning of your deen, for making ibadah. And you should try as much as you can that the whole day should be reserved for the same purpose which was in the beginning. But because I told you, because this ummah was to spread over a very wide range of this globe, different climates, different habitats, different nations having different background, social background, so actually this ritual part of the deen has been reduced to a great extent. Now that time has been reduced to, so to say, about maximum half an hour or 1 hour. When the call is given for the prayer of Jumu'ah on the day of Jumu'ah, now all business is haram. Leave every business. No business can be done till the salah has been done and it has been completed. Now this, you may say it is 1 hour at the most. So with that order has become very easy for the Muslims. But there is the indication that it is desirable that you spend as much time of this day for the same purpose of learning Deen, remembering Allah, studying the book, studying Qur'an, studying Hadith, studying Seerah. Reserve it for that. Now please, we should study, we should begin this word by word. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu iza nudiya lis-salati min yawmil jum'ah fas'au ila zikrillahi wa zarul bay'. O you who profess to believe, and let me change these wordings to, O Muslims. I have told you that these words, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, they address Muslims. Ya ayyuhalladhina aslamu is never used in the Qur'an. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, but what it actually means, O Muslims who profess to be mu'min, who profess that they believe in Allah and hereafter, and the book and Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salah, when call is given for the prayer, min yawmil jum'ah, on the day of Jumu'ah. Now which prayer? We know that call is given, azan is given for Fajr also. Azan is given and prayer and call goes for Asr also, for Maghrib also. There are 5 prayers a day for the Muslims. But here actually this Jumu'ah, which is in place of Zuhr. Jumu'ah is at the same time, at what time this Zuhr is prayed. So that is particularly mentioned here. إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الْجُمْعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. The literal meaning would be run towards the zikr of Allah. But because the Prophet ﷺ has prohibited us, when you are going for salah, don't run. Walk with dignity. First of all, Muslim and Mu'min should be dignified. Running, is not a dignified act. Secondly, if somebody is running, in a mosque, there is a voice, there is a sound, and people who are already there praying, they are disturbed. Their attention, is diverted. So there are 2 wisdoms behind it, that don't run. If 1 rak'ah you are losing, no harm. You can complete the rak'ah after this congregation has been finished. But don't run. Therefore we translate it. So now you turn towards the salah with the total attention. Leave all business, wazarul bay', and leave business, leave trading, everything, you have to leave it. Zaru is imperative verb, and I told you imperative verb means wujub, farz, lazim. It is now your duty, it's now mandatory for you, it is now essential for you to leave all business, all trading, all worldly affairs, and wholeheartedly you now turn towards the salah. Also note the word zikrillah. Fas'au ila zikrillah. Zikrullah is actually 2 things. First of all, salah itself is zikr. Aqimis salat ali zikri. Establish zakah, establish salah for my remembrance. So this is a very comprehensive way of remembering Allah. So zikr, but here this zikr means specially the khutbah. Because what makes Jumu'ah is the khutbah. We have 4 rakat in Zuhr. They are reduced to 2 in Jumu'ah. And in place of 2 rakat, 2 khutbahs have been added. And that is why this seems to be the wisdom. Why the Prophet ﷺ used to have 2 khutbahs. Although he never gave or delivered very lengthy khutbahs. We know it, that his practice was very precise and very brief khutbah he used to deliver. And he used to sit in between. Not because he felt tired, but because, as far as I think, because one should understand that these 2 khutbahs are in place of 2 rakat of Zuhr. Zohar has 4 rakat, and here in Jumu'ah you have 2 rakat. So actually, in place of the 2 rakat, you have 2 khutbahs. I'll give you the hadith also, what the Prophet ﷺ used to do on the Jumu'ah, about the khutbah. This is from Imam Muslim rahimahullah, and he narrates it from Hazrat Jabir ibn Samurah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. قال كانت للنبي خطبتان يجلس بينهما. The Prophet used to have 2 sermons, 2 khutbahs, and he used to sit for a while in between the 2, just as we do today. يقرأ القرآن ويذكر الناس. What did he do in the khutbah? He recited Qur'an and used to remind people of Qur'an, of Iman, and to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yuzakkirun nas. So this is the main function. That is why here the word is zikr. Fas'aw ila zikrillahi wa dharul bai'. Now with all your attention, you should be towards salah and leave all business, everything. Now because in our time we have 2 azans, the question is, from which azan this business becomes haram? Doing any worldly business becomes impermissible, forbidden. After which azan? In the times of the Prophet ﷺ, there was only 1 azan, not 2. The second azan was added in the times of the caliphate of Hazrat Usman radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. When Medina became a bigger city, 1 azan couldn't do. Because if people listened to the azan and then they started going to the mosque, it required some time. To warn them that now the time of Jumu'ah is coming, the first azan was added. And after the second azan, then the khutbah started. So because in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was only 1 azan, and that azan is just before the khutbah. So this hurma, this forbiddenness of all business, worldly business, is from the second azan, to be sure. But we can, guess that from the very first adhan also, it should become makruh, it should become undesirable, if not absolute haram. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha nudiya lis-salati min yawmil jumu'ati fas'aw ila dhikrillahi wa dharul bay'. Zalikum khairun lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. This is good for you only if you have the real knowledge. Now just imagine, maybe there's a shopkeeper, and he was sitting idle from the morning. No customer came to him. And no sooner than a customer enters his shop, the azan also is given. Now he is put to a very hard test, whether to attend to the customer or to respond to the azan, to the call of prayer. And here it is, zarul bai', leave it here and then there. Don't do any business. But Allah says, you might be thinking that you have lost something, but actually if you have the real knowledge, this is good for you. You should sacrifice this apparent the gain which was coming to you, and you should listen to the call of azan and proceed straight off for the salah, and refuse to do any business after this azan has been given. Zalikum khairul lakum in kuntum ta'lamun. Now about this importance and the wujub, imperativeness of Jumu'ah, let me give you 3 ahadith. Imam Abu Dawud rahimahullah, he reports from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. Al-Jumu'atu ala man sami'a al-nida. Jumu'ah is mandatory for every Muslim who listens the azan. If he has listened, he must respond. People who live in that vicinity of the mosque, that the azan has reached their ears, now it becomes mandatory for them to respond and go to Jumu'ah. The second hadith is from Abu Dawud rahimahullah. Al-Jumu'atu haqqun wajibun ala kulli muslimin fi jama'atin. This Jumu'ah prayer is farz, it is mandatory. It is essential for every Muslim. And this can be offered only in congregation. You can't offer Jumu'ah prayer separately. If you, due to some reason, couldn't join the Jumu'ah congregation, Now you will be praying Zuhr. Jumu'ah you are deprived of. That has gone. So in Jama'ah, it can only be offered, this prayer can be only offered in congregation. Al-Jumu'atu haqqun wajibun ala kulli muslimin fi jama'atin illa ala arba'in. Only 4 are exempted. It is not farz on 4. Who are they 4? Abdin mamlukin, a slave. Because that slave doesn't have the authority of his own. He is owned by his master. His time is owned by his master. So if his master allows him, only then he can go. So for him it is not wajib, it is not farz. Aw imra'atin, and women. On them it is not farz. If they join, okay. But if they don't, there's nothing, they have not committed any sin. It is not wajib, it is not farz. Aw sabiyyin, or children. Children, on them it is not farz. Aw marizin, and fourthly, whosoever is ill and sick, he also, he is absolved of this responsibility. Third hadith. Al-Jumu'atu ala man awahu al-laylu ila ahlihi. Jumu'ah is farz and mandatory for every person who can reach back to his family before night. Because you know, this Jumu'ah congregation was not offered and not held in all the villages. There are a few houses somewhere, but they can't hold a Jumu'ah prayer there. They must go to some place where Jumu'ah is being held. But you know what should be distance? If a person can start in the morning, the distance is such that he starts in the morning, he offers his Jumu'ah prayer, and then he can return to his family before the night falls. Then his Jumu'ah is essential for him. He must go and offer the Jumu'ah with congregation. Al-Jumu'atu ala man awahu al-laylu ila ahlihi. Now these are the 3 positive ahadith. Now there are some ahadith of warning also. This is from Sunan Abi Dawud and Sunan Nisa'i rahimahumullah. Man taraka salasa juma'in tahabunan biha taba Allahu ala qalbihi. Whosoever leaves and doesn't pray 3 Jumu'ahs consecutively, only due to taking it lightly. If there is some hindrance, if he is ill, if he is sick, if he is musafir, he is traveling, that's something else. But only because he is not taking it seriously. Tahabunan, taba Allahu ala qalbi, Allah will put a seal on his heart. And this punishment, you know, is the worst punishment that can be given to any human being in this world. Khatam Allahu ala qulubihim and taba Allahu ala qulubihim. To the worst of the kuffar, this punishment is given. And here the Prophet is saying, Man taraka salasa juma'in tahabunan biha taba Allahu ala qalbi. And this hadith has been reported by Imam Tirmidhi also. Man taraka al-jumu'ata salasa marratin tahabunan biha taba Allahu ala qalbihi. The same thing. 3 consecutive Jumu'ahs, if somebody has not gone to pray and join the congregation, then, and without any reason, without any hindrance, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a seal on his heart. And Imam Muslim reports from Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma wa Abu Huraira radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Innahuma sami'a an-nabiyya, both of them, Hazrat Abu Huraira radiyallahu anhu and Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. Both of them listened, heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying on his mimbar. The Prophet said from his mimbar, La yantahayanna aqwamun an wad'il jumu'at aw la yahtamanna Allahu ala qulubihim thumma la yakunanna min al-ghafilin. People should refrain from not joining the Jumu'ah congregation, or otherwise Allah Ta'ala will surely put a seal on their heart, and then they will become from ghafils, ignorant people. Allah will turn their hearts away from Him. So that is the punishment that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will give. And a still stronger hadith, stronger warning comes here, and this is from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Imam Muslim has reported it. أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لقوم يتخلفون عن الجمعة, that the Prophet ﷺ said about people who remain behind and don't join the Jumu'ah congregation. لَقَدْ هَمَمْتُ أَنْ آمُرَ رَجُلًا يُصَلِّي بِالنَّاسِ. I very much desire, and I have a feeling within my heart, that I should appoint anybody else in my place as Imam. He should lead the prayer. ثُمَّ أُحَرِّقَ عَلَى رِجَالٍ يَتَخَلَّفُونَ عَنِ الْجُمُعَةِ بُيُوتَهُمْ. And I should go and burn the houses of those people who are not attending the Jumu'ah prayer. This is the stringest and the strongest warning that the Prophet could give. Hardest. La hamamtu, laqad hamamtu. This idea has been coming to my mind. I've been feeling like doing this. An amura rajulan, that I should command anybody else to pray, to lead the prayer in my place. Yusalli bin nas, summa uharriqa. And then I should go and burn the houses, and along with their houses, the people. يَتَخَلَّفُونَ عَنِ الْجُمْعَةِ بُيُوتَهُمْ. I should burn their houses and those people who are sitting in their houses and they are abstaining from Jumu'ah and not joining the Jumu'ah congregation. Now this is the importance of Jumu'ah. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الْجُمْعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَىٰ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Now I narrate to you another hadith, and this hadith tells you that actually what is desirable is that most of the time, at least the first half of the day, from the morning, from the dawn to the Jumu'ah prayer, should be reserved for ibadah, reserved for remembrance of Allah, reserved for the study of the book, the citation of the book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, although it has not been made mandatory. Mandatory is only that period when the call has been given till the time that the salah has been fulfilled and completed. During this period, it is mandatory. You can do no business, nothing earning, no trading, nothing of the sort. Just as the Jews do for the whole day of their Sabbath. That time has been reduced for the Sunnah. But still it is desirable that most of the, at least morning time, should be reserved for the same purposes. This hadith is muttafaqun alayh, accepted by both Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim as authentic. An Abi Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu anna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qaal man iqtasala yawm al-jumu'ah ghusl al-janabati. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whosoever Muslim, he takes a bath on the day of Jumu'ah, just as the bath which one has to take if he had gone to his wife and now he had to purify his body. That type of bath should be taken, not lightly. Full ghusl janaba, that should be the ghusl, that should be the bath of the day of Friday. Summa raha fi sa'atil ula. Then he went to the mosque in the first hour of that morning. فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ بُدْنَةً. He will be like a person who sacrifices a full camel for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The reward will be equal to the reward of sacrificing a camel for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has gone to the mosque in the first hour of that morning. وَمَنْ رَاهَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ. And who went in the second hour? فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ بَقْرَةً. His reward will be as if he has sacrificed a cow for the pleasure of Allah. وَمَنْ رَاهَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الثَّالِثَةِ. And whosoever goes in the third hour, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ كَبْشًا أَقْرَنًا. And whosoever is going in the third hour, he is as if he has sacrificed a goat or a sheep for the cause of Allah, for the pleasure of Allah. وَمَنْ رَاهَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الرَّابِعَةِ. And who went in the fourth hour, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَبَ دُجَاجَةً. It is as if he has given a hen to somebody else, sadaqah, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A chicken. وَمَنْ رَاهَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الْخَامِسَةِ. Whosoever went in the fifth hour, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ بَيْضَةً. It is as if he has given in charity one egg of the hen. فَإِذَا خَرَجَ الْإِمَامِ. And when the Imam comes out, he is going towards the mosque, towards the mimbar. to address the congregation, to deliver the khutbah. Hadratil malaikatu yastami'una zikr. Now the angels who were sitting on the gates of the mosque, and they were recording the attendance of the people who are coming to join this Jumu'ah congregation, they closed their books. And then they also, yastami'una zikr, they also listen to the khutbah, to the zikr that the imam is doing there. Now this hadith actually tells us, number one, that it is desirable that the whole time, at least from the morning till the midday, till the time of Jumu'ah, should be reserved. But it is persuasion. It's not mandatory. Persuasion is there. If you go in the first hour, as if you have sacrificed a full camel for the cause of Allah, for the pleasure of Allah. Second hour, as if you have sacrificed a goat, a cow. Third hour, as if you have sacrificed a goat. Fourth, as if you have given in charity or sacrificed a chicken or a hen. And fifth, as if you have given in charity some egg to somebody. But you know, when Imam starts his khutbah, kharaja al-imam, not even starts his khutbah. When he comes out, he is going towards the mimbar to address the congregation, then you know, Hadratil malaikatu yastami'un, then all these malaika who were noting the attendance of these people who are attending this Jumu'ah, then they also close their books. In another hadith, this has been given in clear words. They close their registers. Now the attendance is not there. Although the farz will be accomplished, but fazila, the superiority of Jumu'ah, that we have lost altogether. If you have joined the congregation when the khutbah had already started. So before the khutbah, you should go, you should pray 2 rak'ah, then sit and wait for the khutbah. So that is actually the way one should do this khutbah. Now what is the importance of khutbah? Again, here also I want to give you a hadith. And Imam Tirmidhi and Imam Nasai rahimahumullah, they have reported it from Hazrat Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. إِذَا قُلْتَ لِصَاحِبِكَ يَوْمَ الْجُمُعَةِ وَالْإِمَامُ يَخْطُبُ أَنْصِتْ فَقَدْ لَغَوْتَ. If on the day of Jumu'ah, the Imam, the leader, he is delivering his sermon, and you say to your brother or friend, keep quiet, you have also done a wrong work. You must keep quiet absolutely. The Sahaba used only to have some, to remind somebody if he was talking, but not speaking themselves. To throw some pebble, so that there should be no voice. All the people should have focused their full attention towards the sermon, towards the khutbah. And as I told you, actually this is the khutbah which has given this Jumu'ah prayer its all importance. Otherwise we have 4 rak'ah in Salatul Zuhr. In place of the 2 rakat of Salatul Zuhr, these 2 khutbahs have been added. And what is actually the wisdom behind that I have already told. This process should continue. This Surah Al-Mubarakah, it starts in the beginning. يُسَبِّحُ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ الْمَلِكِ الْقُدُّوسِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَكِيمِ هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. This function of the Prophet ﷺ has been made permanent, eternal in the form of this Jumu'ah sermon. Every Friday people should take a bath. They should have good clothings. The Prophet in another hadith said to some people that whosoever among you can afford it, he should keep a separate pair of clothing for the day of Jumu'ah. Because if you are working, if you are, a carpenter, if you are some laborer, and your clothing will be maybe dirty, maybe there is, the smell of sweating coming from your clothes. So change your clothes. Have a bath so that the congregation, that is in a very sound condition. And in that sound condition, healthy atmosphere, whatever Imam says, it should go directly to the hearts of the people who are standing there, who are sitting there, listening to the khutbah. Because this is the function of the Prophet, which has been eternalized, made eternal in this sermon. يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. And I have given you the hadith. What did the Prophet do in his khutbah? يَقْرَأُ الْقُرْآنَ وَيُذَكِّرُ النَّاسِ. The same teaching of Qur'an, the same understanding of Qur'an, يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. Because this ummah is to continue the mission of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Till that time, that whole of the globe that brightens up, lights up with the nur of Allah, وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ, that day has to come. And that Allah's deen should become supreme over the whole of the globe. So this ummah has been charged with this mission, and they have to continue it. Now please let us complete the text. فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. And when the prayer has been completed, فَانْتَشِرُوا, now you can disperse. Here, although فَانْتَشِرُوا is also an imperative verb, but it is agreed upon by all, and it is not first. If you want to keep sitting in the mosque, continue your zikr, continue your study of the book, study of Qur'an, and if there is some sermon going on, then you can stay there. It's not binding that you must go and disperse. But if you like, you can disperse. You may disperse. فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, in the earth, وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. And now you should try to earn the fazl of Allah. These two things are very important here. First of all, fazl. Whatever a man gets in this world, although he has worked for it, he is running a shop, he is working somewhere in some office, in some factory, he is tilling the land, but whatever he gets, he should think it is fazl of Allah, bounty of Allah, not the result of his labor. Because these two words come opposed to each other. Ajr and ujra. Ajr and ujra is the reward of your labor, and it will be measured. Whatever work you have done, corresponding would be the ujra or the ajr. But fazl, the fazl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is great. بِغَيْرِ hisab. His fazl, he can bestow his fazl to whomsoever he likes, بِغَيْرِ hisab. There is not going to be any measurement. So this is fazl. We should think that whatever I am getting, it is the fazl of Allah. Not the result of my work, my labor, my earning, my intelligence, my understanding, my planning, my hard work, nothing of the sort. Although you have to work, although you have to till the land, although you have to sit in the shop, although you have to work in the factory, although you have to work in some mill or workshop, but actually whatever you are getting, it is fazl of Allah. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Go and search for the fazl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can do it if you like. But if you don't, if you want to spend the whole day, it is actually permissible. It was the practice, I remember, in Delhi before partition. I had been visiting there, that the khutbah used to be only in Arabic, and it started at the exact time. Then the sermon started after Jumu'ah prayer, and it continued till the Asr prayer. That was the practice there. And I think it's the best way, because this Arabic khutbah, which is the masnoon khutbah, for that everybody try to reach in time. So that can start at one. Otherwise, if you have a sermon, and sermon is required, why? Because those nations, those countries, whose language is not Arabic. Now this khutbah is to remind them for their education. As I told you in the beginning, it's a form of adult education. Now this khutbah is not serving the purpose of education. They are listening to the khutbah, they don't know what the khatib is saying. So that is why in those countries whose language is not Arabic, additional sermon was added. But this sermon mostly, that is before the real khutbah, the Arabic masnoon khutbah. And it used to be in Delhi, at least before partition I can say, that sermon used to be after the prayer of Jumu'ah till the prayer of Asr. And that was the sermon. To do, what the khutbah should have done. Had the people understood the Arabic language, the khutbah would have been sufficient. But because it is not doing it, so additional sermons are added. And that was the practice in Delhi. وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. But you should remember Allah very much, so that you attain to falah, so that you can gain success, salvation, falah. And we have discussed this word falah in much detail when we were discussing the ayat from the beginning of Surah Al-Mu'minun. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. So this falah you will able to have only with zikr kasir. What is the zikr kasir? Now this salah was also for zikr. Aqim as-salata li zikri. Qur'an is itself zikr. Inna nahnu nazzalna zikra wa inna lahu lahafizun. What is zikr kasir? Zikr kasir is at all time Allah should remain in your mind. You might be doing anything. You can do it. You are going in the bus. You are going in the car. But you are reciting Qur'an. Remember it. Recite. If you have not memorized it, you can have a cassette of Qiraat and go on listening to it. So actually that is zikr kasir. Then additionally, we have the supplications, the prayers of the Prophet ﷺ. With every daily routine work that every human being does, there is a masnoon dua. There is a supplication of the Prophet ﷺ. No sooner than your eyes open in the morning, you have to say a prayer. Alhamdulillahi alladhi ahyani ba'da ma amatani wa ilayhi nushur. Now you have stood up, you have entered your bathroom. In entering the bathroom, you have to do a dua. You come out of the bathroom, and again a dua. Alhamdulillahi alladhi azhaba anni al-azab wa afani. Now you have started making wuzu. Before starting making wuzu, you are again making a dua. And with every act of wuzu, there is dua. Then you go to the mosque. When you come out from your house, there is a dua. When you enter the mosque, there is a dua. That all time when you are sitting in the mosque, you are actually in zikr. Then you come out of the mosque, there is a dua. When you are changing your clothes, there is a dua. When you see the mirror, there is a dua. All masnood from the Prophet ﷺ. Even when you are going to make a sexual intercourse with your wife, there is a dua. No act of human being without dua. This is zikr kasir. This is the biggest and most effective form of zikr kasir. So actually every time. Now you are working, you are doing the work. But your hands are busy in your work. Your feet are busy in your work when you are walking. Your hands are busy when you are doing something. But you have to keep Allah. Your tongue should be having the zikr of Allah. And your head and your heart should be, they are lightened with the zikr of Allah. And this is zikr kasir. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. And you should remember Allah very much, so that you attain to falah, you can get the falah. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً وَلَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. This last ayah of this surah, this refers to an incident that once the Prophet ﷺ was saying the sermon, delivering the khutbah of the Jumu'ah, and there came the sound of ringing of bells, because the caravans, when they used to come, in the necks of the camels there were the bells. So the ringing of the bells started, and people understood that some caravan has come. There was shortage of wheat in the market of Medina, scarcity of wheat. And people thought, and they thought correctly, that a caravan has come from Syria with the wheat. So people thought that if we delay our going there, maybe other people, they go and they purchase, and we don't get any amount. So many of the people left the prayer, the mosque, while the Prophet ﷺ was still delivering his sermon, and the people went off. Now this is the criticism of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over this incident. First please translate the ayah, then I'll say something about it. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً وَلَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا. And when they saw some bargain, some tijara, some trade, or lahv, or some game, something of interest, انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا, they ran to it. They went towards that, towards the bargain, trading, purchasing of wheat or something of interest. وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً وَلَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. And they left you, O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, standing. You were standing still, delivering your khutbah. And people left the mosque. How come? How could it happen? These people didn't understand. What's the importance of khutbah? قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ. Tell them, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what is with Allah, the reward that is with Allah, that Allah will give you of your good deeds, is much better than all these things of interest and all the tijara and all the trading of this world. Only if you know, Wallahu khairur raziqeen, and you should have the faith and the belief and iman and yaqeen that Allah is the best provider. He is the raziq. Why did you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not provide you? If you know this caravan, the wheat that it had brought, if it is finished, people have taken it away, you will remain without wheat. You don't have confidence on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His providence. You don't have confidence that He will feed you. Wallahu khairur raziqeen. Now what is the explanation? One explanation is that perhaps till that time the Sahaba Kiram didn't understand the importance of khutbah, the importance of namaz, importance of prayer. Salah in itself was evident. But perhaps it may be that they didn't understand till that time that the most essential thing about the Jumu'ah congregation is this khutbah. It has given the all importance to this Jumu'ah congregation because this is the main purpose of this congregation. Yatlu alayhim ayatihi wa yuzakkihim wa yuallimuhumul kitaba wal hikmah. So this is one explanation. Another explanation which I found is that at that time, till that time, the khutbah of Jummah was also after the prayer. Just as we have to this date, the khutbah of Eidain, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Azha, is not before the prayer, it's after the prayer. Prayer is offered first and then khutbah. So actually, the prayer had been completed and prayer had been offered, now it was khutbah. So some people thought that it is not very important, we have already prayed, the prayer is over, so we can leave. So this is the second explanation. And the third is that they were actually the munafiqeen. Because immediately after this surah in the Qur'an is coming Suratul Munafiqun. إِذَا جَاءَكَ الْمُنَافِقُونَ قَالُوا نَشْهَدُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ يَشْهَدُ إِنَّكَ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُهُ وَاللَّهُ يَشْهَدُ إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَكَاذِبُونَ. And there is a very beautiful correlationship. In فَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا, they left you standing and delivering the khutbah and they went away. And إِذَا جَاءَكَ الْمُنَافِقُونَ, and when the munafiq come to you and they say that we testify that you are the messenger of Allah, and Allah very well knows, who can know more than Allah that you are His messenger? But Allah testifies that these munafiqeen, they are telling a lie when they say that you are the messenger of Allah. They don't believe from the bottoms of their hearts that you are the messenger of Allah. So this relationship between the last ayah of Surah Al-Jumu'ah and the first ayah of Surah Al-Munafiqun, when these two surahs, you know, they are there joined together in the Mus'haf. So this also supports this third view that these were the munafiqeen who left Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam standing and delivering his khutbah, and they went out to the bargain or to the trade or to purchase the wheat from the caravan which had just arrived. Now the last thing, and that might be shocking for some of you, that is, Jummah actually is meant only for an Islamic state. What we are offering as Jummah, strictly speaking, from the point of view of fiqh, it's not Jummah. Jummah is only in Islamic state. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't offer Jummah in Makkah, although the 5 obligatory prayers had started. And in Baitul Arqam, Muhammadur Rasulullah and his companions used to pray in congregation. But Jummah only in Medina. And let me quote here, that is why during the British Raj, British rule in India, there was a big controversy whether we can hold Jummah congregation here or not in India, because now it is not Darul Islam, it is Darul Kufr, it is Darul Harb, because we are being ruled by the Britishers, non-Muslims. That is why 4 rakat were added, and that was called Ihtiyatul Zuhr. that if you are holding Jumu'ah congregation and you are saying Jumu'ah prayer, you say 4 rakat of Zuhr also. Because if that view is correct, that the Jumu'ah here is not permissible, then actually you have lost your Jumu'ah also and Zuhr also. Jumu'ah, because Jumu'ah is not permissible here, and Zuhr you have not prayed. So to make up and compensate for that, it was advised to the Muslims to offer another 4 rakat ihtiyatul Zuhr, because actually in Islamic society, Islamic state, Jumu'ah, and secondly, Jumu'ah is to be controlled by the Islamic state. There is a hadith that only the Amir or the Ma'mur, he should deliver a sermon. That is why there was a controversy in India, and there is controversy in many other countries also, whether Jumu'ah can be offered and held in villages or not. There should be some town where some important government official is present, and he is to lead the prayer. The Amirul Mu'minin used to lead the prayer in Medina. The governors used to lead the Jumu'ah prayer in every capital of the province. Then in smaller divisions, where is the district or the sort of that, the deputy commissioner, who is there, the chief person, administrative authority, holding the administrative authority, he should lead the prayer. This was when, Islam was one. Religion and state was not two things. But later on they separated. And today what is the condition? Now this has become more or less a ritual. But this ritual is very important, still important. Because it is like a weekly meeting of the Hizbullah, of the Islamic Revolutionary Party. They join together, they gather in a mosque, and then actually the function should be, the basic purpose should be the teaching of Qur'an. يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. But I have referred to this, jurisprudence, the issue of jurisprudence of Islam, that actual Jumu'ah, real Jumu'ah, we can say it is Shibhul Jumu'ah. It is something similar to Jumu'ah which we are offering. But the real Jumu'ah will only be in an Islamic state, where the persons who are holding office, who are holding authority, offices of authority, they will be leading the Jumu'ah prayers. Otherwise, Allama Iqbal has said beautifully, कौम क्या चीज है, कौमों की इमामत क्या है, इसको क्या समझे ये बेचारे 2 रकत के इमाम. We have imams of 2 rakat, and mostly, especially in our countries, there's no respect for these imams. These people are thought to be, they are servants. They are being paid. They are actually the heads who are governing or who are managing that mosque. They have the say in the affairs. The imam, the poor person, he doesn't have any say in the administration of the mosque. So actually this is not the condition, ideal condition. But still it is beneficial. At least we are gathering, at least we are listening to sermon. Some of the knowledge of Islam comes to us. It should continue. But please note it, that all these things are not to the full reality of Islam till that date that we establish an Islamic state. And the real caliph, he leads the prayer of congregation of Jumu'ah, and he delivers the khutbah. You can well imagine the khutbah that the head of the state would be offering and delivering. The khutbah that the governor in some province will be delivering. That would be sort of a policy statement of that government. That would become the press conference for that government. That is actually the basis, because there the state and religion become one. This dualism and duality disappears. So this is actually, I wanted to bring to your notice the controversies also which were there, but essentially, as I told you, these things will have their real meaning when Islamic State has been established. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the courage to establish that real Islamic state, and then these all things will come in the real background and perspective. بارك الله لي ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعني وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم.